Good morning, everyone. This is Jiayao Zhou. This is my justification for the first lesson plan. The first dimension of QTM I'm going to talk about is intellectual quality. I chose high order thinking for my first lesson because this skill is critical in the Australian curriculum for my target cohort, Year 10 students, and essential for achieving academic goals. I want to develop students' high order thinking throughout this unit, so it's important to highlight this expectation in the first lesson. This lesson consists of four parts: mime and sing prompts, role reading, exploding item, and independent learning, all of which require students to evaluate, create, and make judgments. Role reading and exploding item are the two strategies demonstrating the implementation of high order thinking in this lesson. Part of the lesson plan about the role reading activity is shown on the slide. I designed two documents, Toel's diary and Nora's memoir. The aim is to help students understand the storyline of the play and recognize different narrative perspectives. As QTM suggests, processes about higher order thinking can lead to deep understanding when the ideas being explored are substantive and relevant to the license purpose. The main objective here is for students to fully comprehend the storyline of Adult's House. Moreover, role reading involves a great deal of practice and rehearsal, where students step into characters' worlds, imagine their tone, facial expressions, and body language while reading Towo's diary or Nora's memoir. They also evaluate the reliability of each character's narration and reconstruct the story. During this process, students engage in problem solving to create different or improved outcomes. This aligns with QTM's view of high order thinking, as students actively interact with learning materials, make inferences, and draw logical conclusions. Throughout this process, I intentionally prompt students to justify their choices and explain their reasoning. This helps them move from basic comprehension to analysis and evaluation, the upper levels of Bloom's taxonomy. By highlighting these cognitive steps, students become more aware of how they are thinking, not just what they are thinking about. After understanding the storyline, students are presented with several challenging statements that encourage them to think critically and express their opinions. It begins with a statement placed at the center of the room, and students position themselves according to how strongly they agree or disagree. Exploding item is a drama strategy that stimulates students to explore multiple perspectives on issues, ideas, or characters while moving around the classroom. Some of these statements are displayed on the right side of the slide as evidence. Students manipulate information to form new understandings and meanings, which clearly illustrates the higher order thinking process. Research on brain development in young people shows that middle school students benefit from rigorous educational programs that promote complex thinking. Scholar Huri argues that the more high-order thinking-inspired content is incorporated into learning, the more these skills will be developed. For Year 10 students who already have a fundamental understanding of drama, this lesson helps them progress to higher levels of Bloom's taxonomy through engaging class activities. Role reading and exploding item engage students through multiple modes of education and expression. Compared with traditional teacher-centered approaches, adolescents prefer active interaction with their environment through their senses. As Tony Hill suggests in his video, teachers cannot go against students' interests. We should design tasks around what they enjoy and give them opportunities to succeed. Students demonstrate different levels of Bloom's taxonomy depending on how interested or engaged they are with the learning content. Social support is one of the key elements within the quality learning environment dimension. It emphasizes positive support for mutual respect between teachers and students. I selected this element for my first lesson because teachers have the responsibility to establish a respectful classroom climate. The core business of classroom is student learning. And this becomes more productive in an environment that supports both students and their learning. A positive relationship forms the foundation for effective learning and teaching. Constructive interactions between teachers and students prepare learners to acquire new knowledge and skills. I aim to create an effective classroom ecology where students buy into my expectations from the beginning of my teaching. The two strategies that support social support in this lesson are immediate feedback and collaborative learning. During role play reading activity, I will get students to applaud their classmates' performances and offer constructive, supportive feedback. This aligns with the QTM requirement to model respectful language and behavior. I focus on acknowledging the appropriate behavior and celebrating success in meaningful ways. Immediate feedback is also essential during the exploding item activity, where students respond to challenging statements and define their viewpoints. Disagreements may occur, so timely feedback that gets students to respect others' ideas and think critically is a constructive way to manage this. Immediate feedback ensures that supportive behavior and comments are directed towards all students. When students feel emotionally safe and recognize they are more willing to take intellectual risks and engage in challenging tasks, building this trust at the start of the unit sets a strong foundation for sustained motivation and participation across the following lessons. Social support is further strengthened through collaborative learning. In this lesson, I will divide class into two groups, Nara's group and Toa's group. An example of two-colored sticky notes for grouping is shown on the slide. Each note includes a character's name and a famous line from the play. This approach effectively stimulates curiosity and gives students a basic understanding of the story. The effective use of collaboration enhances students' social competence, which serves as an academic enabler. As QTM suggests, implementing social support means students should practice teamwork, consensus building, active listening, and positive feedback. Working in groups, they help each other understand characters' emotions and complex vocabulary. This allows everyone to contribute, collaborate, and develop important social skills. It also provides opportunities for teachers and students to know, understand, and value each other through discussion and support. Immediate feedback in this class functions as positive reinforcement. From a behaviorist perspective, positive feedback encourages students to meet expectations and respond appropriately to stimuli. Throughout the lesson, I will consistently give verbal praise and applause to students' responses and performances. The main goal of social support is to encourage and value effort, participation, and expression of ideas in the pursuit of learning. When social support is strong, students are more willing to take risks and challenge themselves. Moreover, social support also reflects a key idea in humanist theory. Adolescents seek connection, acceptance, and meaningful relationships with peers and teachers. So they are more willing to be recognized and valued. They will become more enthusiastic. Students' emotional and psychological needs mean that teachers should create a positive and inclusive environment where every student's effort is well acknowledged and where mutual respect and care are fostered. Collaborative learning is an excellent way to promote interaction and communication among students. They exchange ideas and collaboratively reconstruct the storyline of a doll's house. This process encourages them to practice social and emotional skills such as empathy, reflection, self regulation, cooperation, while also fostering a sense of belonging within the classroom community. I chose inclusivity as a third QTM dimension for my first lesson because students from diverse cultural and social backgrounds. Class activities should therefore ensure that all students can participate in the shared work of the class and that every individual's needs and contributions are valued. I am to plant the seed of inclusivity in my students' minds, showing them that this classroom is free from prejudice and discrimination, and that everyone, regardless of background, can participate fully. As a teacher, I want to establish a classroom ecology where no student feels excluded and everyone is encouraged to ask and answer questions, join discussions, demonstrations, or group work. To implement inclusivity, I adopted experiential learning and differentiation strategies. In the hook, students form groups according to the count number and collaborate to mime scenes silently. The lesson plan for this group activity is displayed on the slide in detail. This strategy allows our students to take on various roles, working with peers regardless of gender, culture, or language background. The silent mime especially encourages ELD students and those with low confidence in our expressions to participate creatively. Another example is the use of Tovo's diary and Nora's memoir as experiential materials. I divide these texts into smaller parts to ensure every student has a role to read and perform. Experiential learning aims to encourage and engage all students, including those who might otherwise be disengaged from the class collective work. Another strategy supporting inclusivity is differentiation. On the slide, you can see the parts of the lesson plan I highlighted where differentiation is used. For example, to support students with varied English proficiency, I include subtitles in a short clip that they will watch. I also divide students into two groups to reconstruct a storyline based on their interests and attitudes towards gender issues. This approach draws on students' social and cultural knowledge and ensures students can contribute their best interpretation. Another differentiation strategy is scaffolding, which provides students at different readiness levels with the support they need to succeed. Differentiation aligns with inclusivity as it ensures every student feels included when engaging in group projects and discussions. Student disengagement is common among middle years learners. The deeper fall theory explores the reasons behind classroom disaffection, not mattering, not fitting in, unrecognized talents, and restrictions. Inclusivity addresses these causes by ensuring that learning content matters to each individual, that students' unique skills and backgrounds are recognized, and that inequalities or discrimination do not limit participation. As Main points out in the textbook, inclusivity means creating a learning environment where all students' needs are met through access to a meaningful curriculum. Students vary in abilities, cultures, language, and socio-economic backgrounds. They also experience different rates of physical cognitive change. As a teacher, I see inclusivity not only as a pedagogy, but also a personal teaching philosophy. By valuing every student's background and encouraging them to bring their unique perspectives to the class, I aim to build a community of learners who see difference as a strength rather than a barrier. To promote inclusivity, teachers must consider all these factors and ensure students feel encouraged to participate fully in class. This is my justification for the first lesson plan. The rest of the slides are my responses to weekly readings. Thank you.